It's been a few days since the 2019 NBA draft. Knowing which rookies will be on which team at the start of the 2019-20 season. How's it going, guys? My name's Wilson. Zion, John Moran, and R.G. Barrett all have the potential to become special players in their own right, perhaps future superstars, making sure their franchises will never regret drafting them. Let's take a look back at the best draft pick from every NBA franchise. The Atlanta Hawks, Bob Pettit. When you're having a discussion between the greatest Hawks all time, only Pettit and Dominique Wilkins comes to mind. But Wilkins doesn't make the list since he was drafted by the Utah Jazz. Pettit was selected by the Milwaukee Hawks, number 2 overall, way back in the 1954 draft. Despite never playing in Atlanta, Pettit was one of the greatest power forwards all time, made All-NBA team every season of his career, won 2 MVPs, 4 All-Star Game MVPs, with St. Louis winning the NBA title in 1958, relocated to Atlanta in the 68-69 season. The Boston Celtics, Larry Bird, whom they selected 6th overall in the 1978 draft. Bird didn't enter the NBA until the following season, had a 5th year of college eligibility, and Boston didn't mind waiting another year. Bird became one of the greatest players all time, won 3 championships with the Celtics, spending all 13 of his NBA seasons in Boston, won 3 MVPs, and a top 10 player all time. Bird's legacy will always be cherished in NBA history. The Brooklyn Nets, Buck Williams, who was selected 3rd overall in the 1981 draft. The 6'8" power forward spent his first 8 seasons in Jersey, averaged 16.4 points, almost 12 rebounds, made 3 All-Star appearances. Incredibly, only missed 1 game in his first 6 seasons, was later traded to Portland in '89 for Sam Bowie and a first-round pick. The Charlotte Hornets, Kemba Walker, who's the best Hornets/Bobcat player all time, was selected 9th overall in the 2011 draft. He might not be more talented than Alonzo Mourning, but Zoe only spent 3 seasons in Charlotte. Kemba's already the franchise leading scorer. After 8 seasons, he might take his talents elsewhere in free agency, but the 29-year-old has averages of 19.8 points, 5.5 assists, in 605 games with the franchise. The Chicago Bulls, the GOAT, Michael Jordan, the best decision the Bulls franchise ever made. After Portland stupidly took Sam Bowie 2nd overall, MJ led the franchise to 6 titles, won 5 MVPs, led the league in scoring 10 times, even won Defensive Player of the Year, and many other awards, helped expanded the game on a global scale. The Cleveland Cavaliers, LeBron James, drafted 1st overall in '03, James spent 11 total seasons in Cleveland, was a one-man wrecking crew his first 7 seasons, won 2 MVPs, and making a finals appearance before taking his talents to South Beach, would take the franchise to 4 consecutive finals after coming back from Miami. Having many incredible all-time performances, led Cleveland to their first championship in 2016, ending the city's 52-year title drought in professional sports. The Dallas Mavericks, as of now, still Jason Kidd, who was taken 2nd overall in the '94 draft out of Cal. His career with the Mavs can be viewed as complicated and rewarding. Won co-rookie of the year, but was traded in year 3 for Michael Finley, Sam Cassell, and AC Green, but would return to the Mavs after spending time with the Suns and Nets, and was 35 years old towards the latter part of the 07-08 season, but was still very effective. Guarded everybody from Kobe, KD, and LeBron in the Mavs title run. Kidd's presence helped the Mavs reach the promised land. The Denver Nuggets, as of now, Carmelo Anthony, who was taken 3rd overall in the iconic '03 draft, was arguably robbed for Rookie of the Year after coming off a national championship with Syracuse, made the postseason in every one of his 7.5 seasons at the Mile High, was responsible for the Nuggets getting back to relevancy in the West through the mid-2000s, averaged 24.8 points in 506 games with the Nuggets. Current Nugget Nikola Jokic can soon surpass Melo if he stays and continues to succeed with the franchise long term. The Detroit Pistons, Isaiah Thomas, the ultimate face of the franchise. Thomas was selected 2nd overall in the 1981 draft, was special right from the beginning, and was also a fantastic passer. His quickness was unmatched with a 12-time All-Star, average over 19 points, 9 assists for his career, led the franchise to 2 championships in '89 and '90. The Golden State Warriors, Stephen Curry, drafted as the 7th overall pick 10 years ago in the historic '09 draft, the Timberwolves stupidly passed on Curry twice, took Ricky Rubio and Johnny Flynn. Steph's presence set the foundation for Dub Nation, won 2 MVPs, is a 3-time champion, making 5 straight finals appearances, rewriting the record books with his incredible shooting. Curry will go down as one of the most unique players in NBA history. The Houston Rockets, Hakeem the Dream Olajuwon, taken 1st overall in the 1984 draft. Dream was capable of guarding all 5 positions, arguably the most skilled center all time. Hakeem won an MVP, 2 Defensive Player of the Year awards, 2 Finals MVPs. He was also by far the best center in the 90s decade. The Indiana Pacers' Reggie Miller, selected 11th overall in the '87 draft. Miller spent 18 seasons all with the Pacers, played a total of 1,389 career games. The five-time All-Star averaged over 18 points for his career, known for his excellent three-point shooting, had many amazing playoff moments. The Los Angeles Clippers' Blake Griffin, who was selected first overall in 2009, as one of the most hyped physical athletes the league has ever seen, at 6'10", constantly abused his opponents. But as his career progressed, BG expanded his game, developed a consistent jumper, spent 7.5 seasons in LA with averages of 21.6 points, over 9 rebounds, over 4 assists in 504 total games. The Los Angeles Lakers, who selected Magic Johnson first overall in 1979, was the face of Showtime, made all his teammates better, and was a winner from the moment he stepped onto the NBA floor. Winning Finals MVP as a rookie, was must-watch television in the 80s, helped the Lakers win 5 championships, won 3 MVPs of his own, and the greatest point guard who's ever lived. The Memphis Grizzlies' Mike Conley, who was taken 4th overall in the 2007 draft, spent 11 seasons in Memphis, played more games than any other player on the franchise before being traded to Utah as the all-time franchise assists and steals leader, and remains one of the best players to never make the All-Star team. The Miami Heat, the one and only Dwayne Wade, drafted 5th overall in the famous '03 class, he was a superstar by his second season, helped the franchise win their first championship in 2006, having one of the most incredible finals performances, sacrificed his numbers and salary in summer of 2010 to form a big three with LeBron James and Chris Bosh, handed over the keys to James, won 2 more championships, made 13 All-Star appearances. The Milwaukee Bucks' Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, selected first overall in the '69 draft out of UCLA, Jabbar was arguably already the best player in the league as a rookie, averaged 28.8 points, 14.5 rebounds, over 4 assists his first season, led the franchise to a championship by his second year. At 7'2", his skyhook remains the single most unguardable shot the game has ever seen. The Minnesota Timberwolves' Kevin Garnett, who was the 5th overall pick in the '95 draft, came straight out of high school. The big ticket showed promise early on, spent his first 12 seasons with the franchise, led the team to a conference finals appearance in 2004, winning MVP, remains the all-time franchise leader in points, rebounds, assists, steals, and blocks, and without question, the greatest player in Minnesota Timberwolves history. The New Orleans Pelicans, right now I say Chris Paul, but in the future, it can very well be Zion. CP3 spent 6 seasons in New Orleans, led them to the semis in 2008, his 3rd season, was the best player on those Hornets teams by a mile, but only made 3 postseasons during his time in NOLA, and AD only made 2 playoff appearances in New Orleans. 5 years from now, I won't be shocked if Zion surpasses both AD and CP3 for the best draft pick in New Orleans franchise history. The New York Knicks' Patrick Ewing, who spent 15 seasons in the Big Apple, averaged nearly 23 points, 10.5 rebounds, almost 3 block shots with New York as one of the best big men during his time. After 2 seasons of playoff-less basketball, Ewing led New York to 13 consecutive postseason appearances. Despite never winning a championship, his heart and effort will always be cherished amongst Knicks fans. The Oklahoma City Thunder, it was the last season of the Seattle Supersonics when they selected Kevin Durant number 2 overall in the 2007 draft, but after 9 seasons with the franchise, Durant has averages of 27.4 points, 7 rebounds, won MVP in 2014, and led his team to the finals by his 5th season. Although Russell Westbrook spent more times with the Thunder, Durant's a better player, and Russ hasn't won a single playoff series since KD's departure. Unless Russ leads OKC to a title, he's number 1, but Durant's accomplishments in his early years with the franchise will never be forgotten. The Orlando Magic, Shaquille O'Neal, who was the contentious first overall pick in '92, dominated right when he came into the league, averaged 23.5 points, almost 14 rebounds, 3.5 block shots his rookie season, led the Magic to their first ever finals appearance in just his 3rd season, despite only spending 4 seasons with the franchise. He's the best player in Magic history. While the argument for Dwight Howard is based on longevity than the franchise, he is nowhere on Shaq's level. The Philadelphia 76ers, who selected Allen Iverson first overall in 1996, averaged over 27.5 points in 12 seasons with the city of brotherly love, played every game like it was his last, dominated and destroyed guys way bigger and taller than him, an MVP, and led his team to the finals in 2001 without much help offensively. The Phoenix Suns' Steve Nash, whom they selected 15 overall in the loaded '96 draft class, although his first 2 seasons didn't look too promising, averaged just 6.2 points, 5.5 assists. The franchise traded him away to Dallas, where he continued to get better, signed as a free agent with his former team in summer of 2004, and absolutely changed the whole dynamic of the Suns franchise. Ended up winning 2 regular season MVPs, averaged 16.3 points, almost 11 assists on 51% shooting his second stint with the Suns. The Portland Trail Blazers, Bill Walton, who was taken first overall in the 1974 draft. He was a monster his first 4 seasons, led the franchise to their first and only title in '77, named Finals MVP, won regular season MVP the following year, but injuries derailed his career. The Sacramento Kings, Oscar Robertson, who was the first pick in the 1960 draft back when the team was named the Cincinnati Royals. The franchise was first called the Rochester Royals until 1957, relocated to Kansas City from Cincy in '72 and then to Sacramento in '96. The Big O averaged over 29 points, 8.5 rebounds, 10 assists in 10 seasons, while Peja Stojakovic has been the best Kings pick in the modern day era. The San Antonio Spurs, of course, Tim Duncan. After David Robinson went down with injury, the team won 20 games before landing Duncan first overall in the '97 draft, who was the ultimate unselfish player. Won 5 titles, 2 regular season MVPs in 19 seasons, never lost more than 50 games except for the '99 lockout year. The Toronto Raptors, DeMar DeRozan, selected 9th overall in the 2009 draft. DeMar spent 10 seasons with the franchise, was the all-time leading scorer. Before many playoff disappointments, he will sadly be remembered as the star traded for Kawhi Leonard, while Vince Carter was initially drafted by the Golden State Warriors, was traded to Toronto for his college teammate Antoine Jamison. The Utah Jazz, Karl Malone, who was selected 13th overall in the 1985 draft, spent 18 seasons in Salt Lake City, averaged 25.4 points, 10.2 rebounds, won 2 MVPs, led the franchise to 2 finals appearances, and holds the record for scoring the most points for a single franchise. The Washington Wizards, Wes Unseld, the second pick in the 1968 NBA draft, averaged 10.8 points, 14 rebounds over 13 seasons, was known for his outlet passes and did all the little things, won MVP his rookie season, led the Bullets to 4 finals appearances, winning the title in 1978, was named Finals MVP. Those were the best all-time draft picks selected by every NBA franchise. Do you guys think Zion will end up being the best Pelican all time? Let me know in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching this video. I love all of you. See you next time.